Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Savage Goose Show. My name is Goose, and this is where we talk about Savage Worlds and all the Savage Worlds news that's been happening the past, usually the past week, but I've been gone for the past couple weeks. If you haven't seen the community post, by the way, I do post sometimes on community posts. I need to post better, to post more, and just do better about posting there. But we had a new wild card in the family. I had my first daughter about 2 weeks ago, so I've been taking some time off from this. And what that means, I don't have a whole lot planned for today, but I did want to go over the news and just kind of like some of the things have happened past week, and then just kind of just sit and chat and talk about my thoughts on the hobby recently, what I've been up to, what I've been focusing on, what I've been reading, that kind of thing, what I've been kind of thinking about for this channel as well. So hopefully we can just kind of talk and just enjoy each other's company, and we can just talk about Savage Worlds a little bit. So if you have any thoughts and things you just want to share or responses to the things I talk about today, feel free to just leave them in the chat and we can just talk about it. I'm not going to go over the newsletter today. The past two newsletters, I felt that a lot of it was just kind of information about VTT stuff. There was some stuff that I did pull out that I was kind of probably going to mention anyways, regardless of the newsletter. The one big thing that I realized I did not put in the slideshow that did happen is that the Horror Companion has released to retail. So if you did not back it and you didn't get into the late pledges, you can go get the Horror Companion now from like other retail stores and such. So go check that out. So let's go ahead and move into Kickstarters. Street Wolves from Tabletop Games. This Kickstarter ends tomorrow, and honestly, I think the creator would agree that this is going a lot better than he probably imagined, or maybe he imagined it. And I think it's going really well. But considering the stretch goals, which have all been surpassed, I think this is going way better than he probably expected. And I think I'm very excited for it. I'm excited to get a copy of the physical book. I have a copy of the PDF. I'm just really excited to kind of get my hands on that physical copy and just add to my shelf. So that's what's coming still. So that ends tomorrow. If you're interested in getting it, just gonna give some idea here. Currently we have 15,000 pledged. $50,000 pledged of 325 backers. The backer goal was 200 for the highest stretch goal. And I'm trying to think what the other stretch goal was. I think it was like 8,000. Yeah, so almost doubled in number for both. So I think it's doing really well, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what kind of new art and stuff we see, and just seeing at this beautiful book in print. I think this book's going to look really well on my shelf, if I'm honest. I think it's going to look really nice. So super excited for that. Whenever it gets here, I know things like that kind of take some time. You gotta get the money through Kickstarter, and then you have to make sure you get all the responses from certain people, make sure you get the names and everything for books and stuff. But either way, I'm super excited for it. The other one is the Battle Lords Kickstarter. It ends Thursday, May 9th. This is just a booster campaign. They already are going to print this. This is a reprint of their first printing. So you can get these books if you're interested in these books. You can see the links down below. There's a link down below for all the Kickstarters we're mentioning. If they are currently going, or if they have some sort of like preview link up, you can go check those out. The next one is The Secret Worlds that launched today by Star Anvil. This is based on the Secret World MMORPG, which when I first heard about this Kickstarter, I looked up to try to see what it's about, and then find out, okay, it's an MMORPG. And as someone who used to be really into MMOs back in my younger days, I don't know when this MMO happened, so maybe it was like after my time. But I was really into MMOs for a bit. Yeah, obviously a lot of people started on RuneScape. I played a little bit of Warcraft, played Guild Wars 2 for a bit, played one called Cabal Online. I did a lot of those like freemium ones because I needed something that didn't cost money, but could still have fun and played. So I played a lot of Cabal Online. And there's a few other MMOs like that. So I was surprised I didn't know about this one. So I haven't done a whole lot looking into it. I'm going to probably look into it because we will be talking to the guys over at The Secret World at some point soon. Hopefully, I'm hoping to try to schedule something before their Kickstarter is over, but it does end Saturday, May 25th. So go ahead and take a look at that as well. The Solomon Kane, or the Savage, I don't remember, what was it? That's right. Sorry, I had to look really close to see the lettering because I can't see it very big here. The Savage Worlds Summon Kane Kickstarter from Monolith Games is coming May 15th and will be going from May 15th to 22nd. It's only 1 week, so you're not going to have a whole lot of time to back this. So if you forget, you might have to do a late pledge or something. I'm still very curious of what's going on with this one because it seems like it's weird to me that it's only going for 1 week. It's also a little weird that they say Kickstarter exclusive, so I'm not sure what's exclusive. Like, is there a certain thing that's exclusive about it? Is there something else kind of happening? Is there like something that's coming in the Kickstarter that's exclusive, or is the whole thing exclusive? I can't imagine the whole thing being exclusive. It doesn't really make sense. So either way, this book is going to contain a complete rule set, so you do not need to have the core rule book for this. I'm sure most of you watching have the core rule book already, but if you're not and you're interested in this, you do not need the core rule book in order to pick this up. You can just pick this up. It'll have full rules in it. You don't need anything else. I did see that there seemed to be like some sort of miniatures that you can get with this. So it seems like there's like a complete set of miniatures. You can kind of see like this box here on this picture here. It says like role playing vault, and it seems like there's gonna be like a lot of stuff that's gonna come with this. Let me see if I can find the picture from I think it's like their Facebook page or something. But it's it so yeah, I'm just kind of curious to see what is exclusive about it. So let's see if I can pull up Monolith Games page here. Yeah, here we go. Let me copy this and kind of like let's see if I can share this screen. Just gonna share a different screen real quick. Nope, that's not that one. That one. There we go. You see here, this is like a Kickstarter. This is in, I believe this is euros. You can see like the PDF, I got all these things, this box, and then like all of these miniatures, and that's a lot of miniatures. But it's going for, I guess the Kickstarter is going to be 129 euros. They do have the pledge manager price up, so there will be a pledge manager after you do the Kickstarter. Again, I don't know. They have this Kickstarter exclusive thing down here. I don't know what that means. I've reached out to them trying to get a hold of them, see if I can get just to talk to them or have them on the show or just to kind of get more information about stuff. And I haven't been able to kind of do that, but I haven't been able to get a hold of them. But there you can see there a lot of minis. And then there's the book, and I'm guessing there's probably some sort of map packs or something. Maybe it's other books. We'll see what happens. But May 15th to 22nd, that's when the Kickstarter is going. So be ready for that. All right. So let's go ahead and go back to the slideshow. Not that super exciting, but there we go. All right. Also, the Pathfinder books that are coming out. You know that there's another bestiary or bestiary, as well as some other like some sort of player book with the Gunslinger class and the Magus class. We don't know what's happening, but there is a link down below to be notified when the Kickstarter goes live. So if you want to check that out, do it. Just go and check it out. I've already signed up to get my newsletter, get notified when this happens, because I'm going to back it probably right away. Pretty much all the Kickstarters lately I've been backing right away. I've been trying to fill up my shelves. Something that's coming. This is not a Kickstarter, but a jumpstart for Shadow Worlds Vampires. Based on my preliminary research, I did a little bit of digging to make sure I understood what's happening, but I guess this is supposed to be a system agnostic, like not setting, but like a toolkit to be able to play vampires in pretty much any setting. It looks like this looks modern day setting, some sort of modern day setting. So, but this is a jumpstart to be coming soon for this, which I love jumpstarts. I love this. The way it basically lets you preview everything that's going to be coming, edges, hindrances, not everything necessarily, I should say, but like I get a good feel for a thing, as well as usually some pre-gen characters, as well as an adventure. And I like adventures. I have like a whole entire binder that's full of jumpstarts and one shots that my criteria is that they all have to come with pre-generated characters. So I have a whole entire like binder just full of them. Speaking of my binder, you may notice that my bookshelves back there are a little bare. That's because I have a new setup in the other room here that I'm gonna start using for the show. So we'll talk about that, I guess, a little bit later. There's also a new release for Interface Zero. I've seen this pretty much all over the place. I think mostly on Jet 3 RPG, a few other places as well. This is the Ronin's Guide to the Sprawl. volume 1. So there's gonna be more volumes of this, and it's all about this one's all about street cred, and so it's about using your reputation inside Interface Zero to do different things. And it's a decently sized book from what I remember. I think I looked at the drive-through RPG page, and I want to say it was like 40 pages. I have not gone into that yet. I've kind of spent a lot of money on a few other things, which again I'll talk about in a bit. Guide to the Sprawl. I want to say it was like about 40 pages. Yeah. Guide to the Sprawl. It helps if I could type correctly. But I think you could all. Nope, I'm not finding it. I think I put a link in my show notes, and that probably is the best place for me to actually just find it. Did I do that? I did do that. That's perfect. All right. So there's a link in the show notes. I'm just going to use my own link in the show notes because I thought I had this open, but I did not. There we go. 48 pages about using your street cred for different things, including influence paths, template systems to develop memorable contacts, and a tier-based system to track your character's rise and fall on the streets and stuff. So that looks pretty cool. I still need to get all the Interface Zero books in print. I, for some reason, own them in PDF. I don't remember purchasing them. I think they came in some sort of bundle at one point. But I do own them all, and so I do need to read through them, and eventually I do want to get the print, even though I haven't read through them yet. I want them in print because I don't have a Cyberpunk setting. I need one. I also need to get the Sprawl Runners book as well. Hey, Hamster Doom, the baby as well. She is growing and is not too fussy. Just pretty much fusses, and then we feed her, and she's good. So all good there. All right, so let's hear. That's that. So. Okay, so we're going to talk about upcoming shows, but first, before we get that, I'm going to. Oh no, I want to go back. Before we get to that, I'm going to stop the screen share, and I'll just go by myself. There we go. So I just want to kind of talk about what I have been up to, just generally speaking, in Savage Worlds, or just in RPGs, and kind of like what I've been reading, and kind of what's been going through my mind for the channel and everything. Just kind of a little chat, and if you hear anything that's perks your interest, go ahead and just leave a comment to talk about it further. So the main thing I started reading about 2 weeks ago, after the last stream, I shouldn't say started reading, I've been continuing to read afterwards, was the Battle Lords Core Rulebook. So I want to get a review in of this eventually. And that's kind of it. And I've been getting a few other books that I want to review as well. And I'm trying to think like what's the best way to review these, because I don't have the time to play all of these, and at least with a bunch of people. Like it's not gonna be easy for me to get a group together to do like even a 4-hour session. People got to make characters, they have to figure out an adventure, all the kind of stuff. And so I've been thinking a lot about how can I do a review of these and play them, or feel comfortable reviewing them without playing them. I don't think I could. I want to play these. I want to play these before I give reviews. I can't not say I'm going to dedicate myself to that, but ideally I think I would. Now, something else I've been exploring is solo role playing. I think I mentioned this a few times on a few past shows. I've been thinking about solo role playing a lot, and I've been wanting to do that more. And so I finally picked up this book, the Mythic Game Masters Emulator 2nd Edition. Bought this on Amazon. Regret buying it on Amazon, by the way. Buy it on Drive-Thru RPG. It may take a little bit longer because they have to do the print on demand, but you'll get the PDF. And therefore, if you have the PDF, you can print out all the sheets and stuff that are in here instead of having to like photocopy them or something. Some of the sheets are available on their website. So if you do buy from Amazon, you can get their sheets on the website and just print them off there. But there were some sheets that I don't think were there. And some things I would like to have be able to print off nice and cleanly just by having a PDF and printing those certain pages. So just like kind of like collate a few things into like one part of the book. One thing that is nice though about this is that all the tables, so a lot of the book is just explaining how to use the system, right? And I do like that. Like a lot of it is just, here's how to use the system. Here's how you solo roleplay with this book. It's got a few things that it does uniquely. I'm not going to get into like what those are. I'm not here at least. But I do like that at the very end of the book, you can almost see it here. All that white there is like everything, all the tables, all the pages, all like the sheets and stuff that you can fill out are all collated into one particular section of the book. So you can just go to the back and everything's there. You have to like flip through the book to find like a certain page of this bigger book where everything was. So I picked this up, and one of the thoughts I had was I could theoretically, maybe, start doing some solo plays and just limit myself to like 5 sessions. Do like a 5 session solo play in these different settings. And a lot of these setting books have adventure generators, so I can use those to create the adventure, and then create a character in these settings, and then just do a solo play through them, and then maybe I can record myself doing them. I could just play through like 5 sessions, 5 sit-downs, probably do like 1 hour sit-downs, because games go a little bit quicker when you're playing by yourself, because you're just kind of rolling things. So do like 5 sessions to get like a five act type thing going on, maybe like a 3.5 act, 4 act, whatever, something along those lines. And then after I play them, and you guys would be able to watch them and stuff, then going in to review the system or the setting, and talking about what I liked about it, anything I didn't like about it, and just kind of go from there. So that's how I'm thinking about maybe approaching that. Let me know in the comments what you think about just solo plays and just doing that. One of the top solo play YouTubers, me, myself, and Di, he started out his whole entire channel with a Savage Worlds Deluxe Edition, or Savage Worlds Deluxe Explorers Edition, I should say. And it was a great show, really enjoyable. He's obviously he's a voice actor. He's got a really nice setup. And I don't know if I'd necessarily be as entertaining as him, but the goal isn't necessarily to be entertaining in that sense, but to get a feel for the system and the setting, and then getting a feel for the setting, so we can talk about any of the setting rules and anything like that that's custom to this system, to get a feel for it, so he can give a proper review of it. So if that sounds cool, please let me know in the comments. I have also been reading. This is going to seem a little weird. I've also been reading the Lost Mines of Fendelware adventure, and you're probably thinking, Josh, that's not Savage Worlds. It's about 10 years old, and it's just a little adventure that comes in a starter kit set from D&D. The reason I'm reading through this is that I'm two things. One, I am going to try to run this for my brother-in-law and my wife. In Savage Worlds, we're going to use Savage Worlds. I have a guide that I've created to try to convert adventures from D&D into Savage Worlds, and I'm going to try to use that system in running this. And the reason I'm going to run this is there's 2 reasons why. One, I've run this 3 or 4 times in D&D, not in Savage Worlds, but in D&D. I've run this about 3 or 4 times, so I'm very familiar with it. And also, now, and both Joyce and my wife and my brother-in-law, David, are both quite familiar with this one as well, because they've played through it several times. My brother-in-law's goal is actually to do a speed run. He wants to try speed running a campaign. Something he knows, basically play a character where they know meta, sort of in character, he knows the meta. So I think so that's gonna be fun. We'll see how I think we're gonna start that tomorrow. We made characters yesterday, and we're going through that. But I've also been thinking about solo playing it for a couple of reasons. One, again, because I know it's familiar. 2, so I can get familiar with this book, as well as a few other tools I've picked up for solo roleplay. I have 2 other Oracle guides, one that's specifically for Savage Worlds, and one, the GM assistant cards that you can get on drive-through cards. That's not currently in the description notes. I'll put it in down there, as well as the Savage Worlds solo roleplay guide later, if I can remember. But I've been thinking about, like I said, I've been thinking a lot about solo play, and so my plan was to, between playing with my wife and my brother-in-law, playing through this on solo play myself, as well as into this myself, I could do 2 things. One, test out my conversion rules. I have like I said, I have a conversion guide that I'm planning a video on, like how to convert D&D adventures into Savage Worlds. There's some conversion guides out there, but the way that they could do the conversion guide is very mathematic heavy, where we're just trying to take stats and change those stats into stats in D&D, and that's not the method I'm going for. I'm trying to go for a much easier, simpler method, where we're just kind of correlating DCs and monsters and stuff, and just kind of trying to make things a lot simpler, and just taking kind of existing things and not having to do a lot of work ourselves. So I'm gonna try to test that, and then also by soloing this, I can also test out solo play and try to get familiar with solo role playing with some guidance from a pre-written adventure. Because running a pre-written adventure solo and running an adventure solo is a lot different. There's a lot of differences there. So let's see here. So Hamster Doom says Fandelver is fantastic with the Goblin Ambush style TPKU. I've never had problems with the Goblin Ambush at the very beginning. The only problem I ever had, I've heard this story several times, there's a Hobgoblin in the Hideout. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't played through this adventure. It's 10 years old, so that's on you. But there's a Hobgoblin that if I had a Paladin, I think it was a Paladin Dwarf character who was one-shotted by this Hobgoblin because the Hobgoblin crit when he attacked the Dwarf, and they're level 1 at the time because they went straight there. They didn't go anywhere else. They went straight there and insta-killed. Like no death saves, just it was enough damage to immediately take care of that character. Also, Hamster Doom, you said her Dragon of Stormwreck Isle is a good start as well. I have heard the same thing. I think I actually have a copy of it. We tried playing through it briefly, one-on-one with my wife. Like she was playing one character and then I was just DMing. So we'll see with that. Yeah. So that's some things that have been going on in my mind. Just looking at the solo role play. So maybe doing some recordings of that just to kind of get a feel for certain things. And then eventually I want to do a video on like solo role play, the tools that we have for it in Savage Worlds, how you might want to do things differently, specifically for Savage Worlds for solo role play, and make sure your bases are covered and everything, and kind of just making sure that you're not making things too difficult for yourselves and everything. So yeah, so that's a video I want to talk about at some point. I also want to do a video about D&D conversions. To Savage Worlds. I'm looking into maybe doing some more videos like that for other systems, like Pathfinder or something, but I'm not positive yet. I think that's all I've kind of been thinking about. Oh, I have been trying to order more books. I had a whole bunch of credit from, like I had like a gift card essentially, and I was looking at my wish list, my want list of print books from Drive Through RPG, and I have a lot of Pinnacle stuff. I wanted more third-party stuff, more things that are in print from other publishers and stuff. And so I picked up Hellbind from Goblin Society Games that is coming, and I also picked up the After. So that should be in print. So those are both coming, and should be coming sometime. It's coming through Media Mail, so Media Mail can be a bit slow. So so hopefully we'll see. Hopefully that'll come soon. Have I tried the solo Deadlands solo one, Creator Lake Chronicles? No, I've not tried anything solo. I did solo like one session of the first part of Rise of the Rune Lords, and my thought process there was, okay, maybe if I solo Rise of the Rune Lords, which I'm also DMing, then that's another topic we can talk about. I've been DMing Rise of the Rune Lords for my play group, and so my thought was, okay, maybe if I do this, if I solo this, I have a better understanding of the adventure in preparation for DMing it for them. I did one session, then didn't get very far, and now we're almost into book 2 for Rise of the Rune Lords. Because we had a kid, I missed 1 week of D&D, and then the next 2 weeks we've done online roleplay, which in the past when we did online roleplay, it was not as easy. I think my one player had some internet connection issues, but also there was some issues with trying to use Roll20, and it seemed a little clunky in Roll20. What we did this time is that instead we used Albar Rodeo, which I'm really enjoying because it's just a virtual tabletop, and that's for the most part it's just a virtual tabletop. There's a few integrations and things you can do, but for the most part it's just a virtual tabletop. And we've been able to use Albar Rodeo, Savage.us as for character sheets. I also use Savage.us's initiative tracker and their wound marker, or wound chart, and a few of the other tools from Savage.us to just run the game, and it actually went really smoothly. The only part that's been a little bit hard is that my one player is a mute character. His character's mute. And so what he's been doing in game has been writing on a mirror. He has like a piece of chalk and he writes on a mirror and he like shows people. And what he's been doing in real life is he's got a Kindle Scribe that he's been writing on and then turning around and showing the other players. And then that's been the way that he's been doing things. And that's actually made things a lot of fun to kind of like for him to role play his hindrance and actually like he can't really be a part of the conversation as much because it's harder to communicate. He does do, and then he also does some hand signs. Now, unfortunately, their first week, the player didn't have a way to show his face, and then he doesn't really like cameras to begin with, so that was a little difficult for him to try to do a mute character online. So, but the second week though, I think that went a lot better. He had a camera, and we just did a better job paying attention to the chat so that we knew when he was chatting to us in character. So, but at the same time, I think the fact that he gets overlooked some is probably an accurate depiction of what may happen in game. Although he's a barbarian, so he might force his mirror on people more like, no, look at this, look at what I'm saying to you. So there's a little bit of that. Yeah. So that being said, I'm really enjoying Bar Rodeo, and I think that might be the VTT I just kind of stick with because I like how simple it is, and that it's just a VTT. It's not trying to do anything overly complicated. I like that it has a Euclidean geometry tool for measurement, like going from like one space to another space. That's nice because that just makes it like, yeah, that's exactly how many spaces is. It is 4 spaces, regardless of how you try to do diagonals. That is 4 spaces. So it makes that nice little like combo of like using like a little ruler like in the real world versus just being able to measure there. Yeah, so what's going on with the channel? That's kind of things I have coming up that I want to work on. I have a few other books I've been reading through and trying to review and writing reviews for. I know what I need to be writing see more videos on is how to more like tutorial type videos on Savage Worlds. People have been enjoying the character creation video, which I appreciate all the feedback on that. And so if you have like a piece that you guys really want me to do stuff on, just let me know. I've been thinking about doing a general video on things that you can do better in Savage Worlds, or like things that, how should I say this? Things that you should use in Savage Worlds to make your game be more engaging. I'm basically just saying, talking about quick encounters briefly and chases, basically all the subsystems of Savage Worlds. Not necessarily going into deep depths on like how everything works there, but that you should look into it and then talking about the advantages of it and using those subsystems. Because one thing I think one of the most powerful things in Savage Worlds is their subsystems. I know I was listening to a episode of the Lazy Dungeon Master talk show with Mike Shea, and he said something recently about how he doesn't like subsystems in all games, and his reasoning was that sometimes the subsystems let you do things that your character could do normally without using the subsystem, but then they lose a lot of the benefits. And I don't think that's true usually in Savage Worlds. There's a few cases where I can see it, like maybe certain combat edges and chases don't really work. But generally speaking, you still fight, you can still hit. And I think Savage Worlds does a good job of using those subsystems to keep things narratively interesting, keeping the game going. So I might do a video about that. If you have any other video ideas though that you want me to talk about, either in general, like long form, just like normal videos, as well as discussions for this show, please let me know. I want to hear your ideas. I do have a list going of like different ideas to talk about and try to get some other people to engage with. I plan on having for a while, actually, for going forward, I hope to have almost every week somebody with me, if not a guest from like another publishing company or something like that. I have my friend Maverick who is going to jump on hopefully a few sessions here and there. So I think with that, I'm going to move on to the last piece here. Just what's coming up for this show, and what are we going to be doing? So let's go ahead and get that there. So some upcoming shows. We're going to be talking about adventure design in Savage Worlds next week. There's a lot of videos out there on how to do adventure design, and I find that most of the videos I watch are assuming D&D or Pathfinder Second Edition. It's something a little more, a lot different than Savage Worlds, than the way Savage Worlds works. So we're going to be talking about adventure design in Savage Worlds, and that's not going to be about myself because that's not something I'm not necessarily good at. I run. This is a little bit of a shame on me, but I run, maybe not, I don't know. I run almost exclusively pre-written campaigns. I prefer things like plot point campaigns, like the plot point campaign in Lost Parsec, where things kind of keep moving, but they are just like points along the way, where there's still a lot of room for improv, but there's still like a good framework for doing things. So, but we're talking about adventure design in Savage Worlds. Peter Saloom, who is the author of Shadows Over the Sacred Hills, a Weird West adventure that is on Drive-Thru RPG. Go and check that out. He's going to join us, and he's going to talk about adventure design and his kind of thoughts on adventure design in Savage Worlds and how he writes adventures. And we are going to have a follow-up episode to that. So after, if you're watching it live or if you watch it afterwards and you have questions about adventure design in Savage Worlds, maybe you have questions about balancing or anything that we didn't cover that you want more information about that he did mention, and you want to just kind of talk about it, dig in deeper, we're going to have a follow-up episode. The current plan is to do that immediately after. I'm going to kind of confirm with Peter because we're also going to talk about the secret worlds of Savage Worlds with Star Anvil. Star Anvil reached out to me today. I meant to reach out to them today as well, and they reached to me first. They want to kind of come on and talk about the secret worlds for Savage Worlds. So they're come on. We're going to talk about that setting. It's kind of dive a little bit into the lore, what they're doing unique in the secret worlds for Savage Worlds. Because this was also done for 5e, so I'm curious to see what's different between how you approached it for 5e versus how you approached it for Savage Worlds. So we're looking forward to kind of talking about that. And then I just want to hear more ideas from you guys. Like I said, I do have a list of ideas. It's a small list, though, and I'd like to hear your feedback. And hopefully, if I don't have someone like Peter or someone else in the community join me, my good friend Maverick can join me, and we can talk a little bit further about certain topics. I actually want to revisit a few topics with having someone kind of to backboard off of. That's not the right. I can't think of the right word right now. Anyway, just someone that can talk about it with me so that we can kind of discuss things together and get some feedback. Have a little bit of a discussion instead of me just kind of talking to you guys. So love to hear your ideas of things that we can talk about, things that you're like to see talked about in Savage Worlds. And it doesn't have to be necessarily just directly related to Savage Worlds. It could be comparing two systems or what Savage Worlds does better than this, or even things that maybe you think that Savage Worlds doesn't do well. So if you have things that you think Savage Worlds does not do well, leave a comment. I'd be happy to hear about what you think you hear your criticism. And because part of playing our game is taking the criticism as well. I love this game. I play this game pretty much exclusively now. But there's something that you think that doesn't do well, and maybe I can disagree, or maybe I can agree, and maybe we can come up with a solution together. So go ahead and leave either criticisms or things that you want to hear talked about down the show notes or down the comments below, and I'd love to hear from you. All right, I don't think I have anything else. I think that's it. So just looking through the comments. Mystic says, what conversion guide do you have? It's a conversion guide I created. I have not released it anywhere yet. I kind of want to test it first to make sure that it works. That's why I am going to be playing through this adventure a few different ways with my wife and my brother-in-law, as well as solo, just so I can try to test out a few things for converging as a conversion guide for that. So yeah, so nothing specific yet. I have something written down, but I want to test it, make sure it makes sense, make sure it works, make sure it's going to be compatible. And then make sure that's something I'm missing, because there might be something I need to convert that I forgot to convert. For instance, one of the things I realized that a lot of these adventures assume experience points, which Savage Worlds does not do. At least does not do anymore. Got the pen over here. I'll get later. So what do we do for, if there's no milestones in the campaign, what should we do? And then at the same time, I'm not sure if that's necessarily a thing that we need to worry about, because leveling in Savage Worlds and leveling in one of these adventures is not the same thing. I think someone said once that, or I saw someone say once, like a starting character in Savage Worlds is like a level 4 character in D&D, and a legendary hero in Savage Worlds is like a level 12 character in D&D. The advances you get in Savage Worlds do not escalate your character's power. They don't get they get more powerful, but more often they just get more interesting, which is the one of the beautiful things about Savage Worlds. So Benny's conviction advance. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I need to like think about when it comes to conversions that we just need to kind of unpack here. So with that being said, so look forward to next week with Peter Saloom. I'm going to get that kind of created soon, where we're going to talk about adventure design in Savage Worlds, and I'll see you all next week to discuss that. So if you have any questions ahead of time, feel free to leave them, but we may just leave those for the follow-up episode. Go check out those Kickstarters. Secret Worlds Kickstarter, Street Wolves ends tomorrow, and then get ready for all the other Kickstarters that are coming as well. And check out the Battle Lords Kickstarter as well, because there's some exciting stuff coming there. All right. And with that, everyone have a good night.